What's up, Marvel Rivals players? Today I want to talk about the secret best hero. And the reason why I want to say the secret best hero is if you were to ask majority of players what characters get banned most of the time at the higher ranks of the game, it's pretty much Wolverine. Now, when I say Wolverine is the most overpowered and the best character in the game, personally for me, while that character can be very unfun to play against if you are a tank player like myself, that character just like deletes a tank sometimes and you really can't get anything in response to it. As in, there's very few answers to, let's say, Wolverine. Whereas that character takes a lot of skill to play, and you have to execute your abilities correct. Basically, if you're not grabbing the tank and pushing him into a position where the supports cannot heal them, or the strategist, he's basically dead, right? And I think that is a area where that character feels super unfun to play against, specifically as the tank player, but the character still has to be good, and the execution must be done properly. Whereas this character over here, Winter Soldier, can get really good damage in. He's got a really good ultimate. Not saying Wolverine's ult is bad. Wolverine's ult is actually quite good, even against non-tanks. But it's specifically that the execution must be done very well, or it's a like feast or famine character, meaning that like the character either does really well or does really bad. Think of Black Panther or a Magic player. This character, though, that I want to talk about and kind of highlight, and the reason why I consider him kind of like a secret best character in the current season right here, in like the season 1.5, is because he is able to get a lot of times through the banning phase. This character is super powerful, and I'm basically just learning this character right now. In fact, I think that's better that I'm showing you guys, you know, the earlier gameplays of me in the learning stages of this character. And the reason why is because I genuinely always felt like this character was just way overtuned. The character just has so much going for it. There's really no downsides, as in if you land your abilities, you are going to be popping off, obviously, just like any other character. But the risk that is involved is very small, because a lot of times when you're going for that hook play, if you successfully get off your hook, the opponents cannot heal the person getting pulled. And especially if you're pulling a non-tank, I mean, that thing is just instantly deleted most of the time just by you alone. But I think what makes this character super overpowered in the current state, and why I consider him like kind of secretly OP, is because, again, he gets through the banning phase, but the character is incredibly consistent, and on top of that, the character's ult is really good. You're going to see a time where the enemy teams pop their support ults, and we go through it. And keep in mind, I'm just learning this character right now. If you are new here, I mainly play tank. I've hit top 201 playing tank, specifically Penny as well as Venom. And then on my alt account, it's in Celestial, and I kind of just flex for the team, and I kind of just play whatever I want to play. Now, this account, I'm kind of just messing around, trying to learn Winter Soldier. It's still in ranked over here. This account is over in Diamond. But I mean, it'll take me 2 seconds. This account will get to GM in just a few moments here. But I'm trying to play a lot of the characters that I think that are really good. I'm trying to learn. And I get asked a lot of times while I'm live streaming, what characters do I think are the best for beginners? And well, I would always say usually Punisher is one of like the best characters for beginners to learn in terms of DPS. And if you're playing a tank, I really recommend Doctor Strange and Magneto, as those characters are very strong. But this character, man, you do have to land your abilities. But what makes this character so incredibly strong, I mean, you see just me just going super hard. We already killed 2 players over here, and I'm just still W queuing by myself. And I want to give you guys a tip if you have a Winter Soldier on your team. If he's going in hand like this, I don't care that you're playing support and he is out of line of sight. You forgo whatever you're doing and you just pump in heals in him. If he's already gotten 2 limbs, he's probably still going to be popping off as long as you keep him up. So I have definitely learned, as someone that does play everything in the game, if Winter Soldier is popping off with his ultimate, it doesn't matter if he's out of position. You get out of position, you just force feed into him. If you die, it doesn't matter. If he kills 6 or 7 players, you win. He can kill the team multiple times on his own. But what I think really makes him super strong is that he's able to get a lot of consistency out of just his left clicks. Even though he only gets 3 shots, every single time you activate an ability, it refills it. This is not going to be a video guide that goes over all the tips and tricks of this character, but it's more so the play style. I mean, I'm assuming most people at this point probably have seen his abilities, and what you really want to try to do is, after you activate all of your shots, instead of reloading, you activate an ability, but ideally what you do is you try to pull the enemy, then push him into a position. I try to get the Penny behind the wall, but I don't know, it's just, I don't know, maybe a rubber banding or whatever. For some reason, the Penny Parker was not behind there. But you can pull the player kind of like Roadhog. It's almost like Roadhog, but when you pull someone and you get them super far out of position, their supports can't heal, therefore they don't get support ults.
Bro.
I really feel like this character is also really good is you do not even need to land your abilities to just get free shields. And for no reason, they decided in this season to just give him 25 extra HP. It's small, but when you add that he gets to have shields on every single ability, it's insane. Okay, check this out right here. The Star-Lord's over there. We could have eliminated him with our ultimate if we landed it, but let's be honest, that wasn't going to happen. All right, so what happens over here is we try to go for a pull. The Groot hits a good ultimate. They pop Cloak and Dagger ult, and even through the Cloak ult over here, boom, you can see we get the Mantis, and she activates her ability. Boom, she's dead. The amount of burst that we just did over there was massive.
And you know what else is massive?
And being able to eliminate people through ultimates is very, very strong, especially because, like, I would say a lot of times in this game, specifically mind games, just like in any sort of like hero shooter, when you get stomped really hard, that demoralizes the team, and like you have those people that are like, I'm not going to play tank, I'm not going to play support or strategist because, you know, my DPS suck. That's most of the time though, I'll be honest, the players that can carry the hardest in this game are 100% are the DPS. There are some exceptions, like where, let's be honest, Doctor Strange is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Magneto can be pretty good too to counter, like, let's say a support ult. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the next point over here where we are going to be defending here. But the reason why I want to recommend this character to a lot of players is because the consistency at how good the character is without even executing something insane is actually pretty good. That slow, by the way, can knock out airborne enemies. Like, this character is one of those all-rounder characters, which is really good. And I would say he's actually pretty beginner-friendly because the hitbox on the left click is way too generous. If I was to nerf this character, I would say his hitbox on his left click needs to be a little bit less generous. And on top of that, and I think this is a very reasonable request too, is that he cannot grab multiple people. You saw in the very beginning where we ended up grabbing the Penny and the Doctor Strange, which was, you know, pretty good. I mean, we didn't secure the kills, unfortunately, especially if you grab two tanks. It's almost bad to grab two tanks, but the fact that he can even do it is kind of ridiculous because he can follow up with the little like dash that he can do some damage with, so he can still get like a good amount of ult charge. I tried to help the other player over here. You can also dash upwards with his little dash. You can see there is a Star-Lord. I hit him out of the air with the E, and then we're going to be able to, again, the hitboxes are so generous, man. I mean, you could be a Mercy main and land these things. Look, here, we'll just start shooting, and once we get close to the head, these are going to be headshots, by the way. Those are headshots! It's crazy how easy this character is, because I always thought, oh man, it's got to be a combo character, you got to be landing your stuff. No, dude, you could just spam left clicks, and you know, I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be landing those real easy shots. So I really recommend this character. If you want to carry games, this character probably has the highest carry potential out of any of the characters that I've ever played. And I just started learning this character. You can see I'm able to just absolutely delete him. By the way, I didn't know this, but for some reason that apparently doesn't work on Star-Lord when he does his little like dash thing. It just, I don't know if he has iframes during it. For like any sort of like CC. It's probably a pretty short one, but nonetheless he was unaffected by it. But again, you guys can learn from my mistakes over here as I'm learning the character, and I also like doing these because I like to kind of VOD review myself. I think that that's one of the best ways to get good at this game, is to VOD review yourself and see what you could have done better. In fact, you know, just watching this gameplay over here, I'm noticing that my tanks aren't as aggressive as I would like them to be, and I think that that's one thing that, you know, sometimes you have to reflect. If my tanks aren't playing as aggressive as I want them to be, then they have to back up, because well, right now Punisher's ulting, I totally get that, you know, that's reasonable. But for the most part, I like it when my tanks play extremely, extremely aggressive, because that gives us the space. Unless, of course, we are doing some sort of strategy where we're waiting for, you know, someone to, you can see I just saved that rocket over there too. Great character to appeal for your team, but yeah, unless you're doing some strategy where you're trying to let then go through, so your Magic or your Black Panther can go ahead and go for a burst. But like, I like this character because even if I'm not getting healed, look at my HP. It was like 300 and something there just a second ago. We're at 350. I mean, we're moving towards almost the tank. I mean, keep in mind that even though I have like, let's say like 350 over here, if I'm taking damage and then I can recycle all of my abilities, I mean, I get another like 100-ish shields. You can see I'm going for like some greedy plays here. I should have been able to land that. Unfortunately, he kind of like moved out of the way, and that was the one time where I didn't land the shot. It wasn't generous enough. But for the most part over here, like this is an area where I think I should have actually died over here, but we ended up being okay, and then we've got our ultimate ready to go. And again, this ultimate is like a team winning ultimate, as in like you can just kill the entire enemy team. You see we lost a Black Panther over here, but we're still going to be able to fight. And the thing that I really like with this character is that, again, its ultimate is strong. It's just playstyle is very strong. Okay, you can see that was an area. That's a mistake. When I went down, I didn't know that it would have hit like my head on the roof. That was my fault. But again, that is part of kind of learning certain characters, and that's why I'm kind of recommending you guys to at least try out this character if you want to have the best potential to carry a game. I know this is like under what my normal rank is, but I'm still learning the hero, so I think at this point, like, you guys can get some of the concepts for this character. And another thing that you can do that is really, really nice, and it's specifically being able to eliminate characters where the support cannot heal, because I would say that the supports in this game, and I think a lot of people would also agree, the supports build ult too often, where this character, it can burst through them. But one thing that I do really like is that against certain ultimates, like for example, if it's Cloak and Dagger, you know, there's obviously that little strip over there. We end up getting MVP. I fast forwarded to the MVP over here. You guys can see the stats. But there's where our final stats. You can see we had the most amount of final hits, and there's a lot of times where I felt like my team could maybe have played a little bit more aggressive, specifically on the supports end, and that would have really helped us. But specifically giving myself all of that shields, we had, I think we had the most damage. Yeah, we had the most damage over here, but we went 33-2. Again, obviously, you know, this is not at the peak at the rank, but I'm still learning the character, and I think that we could actually get way better gameplay. But this is one character that I can highly recommend. I feel like he's secretly like way too strong. So if you guys want my recommendation, because again, I get asked this all the time while playing, which character I think is the best, I think Winter Soldier and Bucky is overall one of the best characters currently in the game, hands down. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.